Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be starting off with a banger. So today we are going to be working on this rocker panel here, of course. So the first step was to take the fender off, take the door off. Next we prepped the work area, so we taped off the entire door jamb. Kind of went a little bit over. Main part is I wanted this section here to be taped off. Alright, so first we're going to have to drill out some of these spot welds here. I mocked up the piece, so approximately this is going to be our last spot weld here, and then this little piece just kind of bends over. Same thing on the bottom, there's a few more there. Probably going to have to jack up the car. And then since this rocker panel piece goes up and under here, it's actually somewhere in here, and I don't want to mess with this, so I'm thinking I'll just cut it a little bit shorter and then have it about right here somewhere, maybe right below this bolt. And that should be it. So that will be later. Right now we're going to be doing the spot weld, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright guys, so we mocked up the piece, as you probably saw earlier. I got a line approximately where I'm going to have to cut. I'm not going to cut at this line. What my plan is maybe to cut maybe half an inch below that. That way I can get the piece fully on there and get my mark line for sure where I'm going to have to cut, because this, I don't know how accurate this is because the piece wasn't actually flush with it, because I had some of these things sticking down. It wasn't exactly straight. So this is just a rough estimate of where the piece is gonna go. It's pretty close, but it's not exact. So I'm gonna come in and maybe cut right below that line, leaving half an inch or so. That way I can remove this piece, get the new one in, make my marks again, and then cut for sure. And then that way we'll know. Alright guys, so this is where we're at right now. We slotted in this piece, what we're going to be welding. So before we go ahead and slap this sucker in and weld it in for good, we have to take it off real quick, grind out the rough edges behind it, put some of that self-etching primer, and then we should be able to weld right through that and good to go. And then after that, we'll just clamp it down on each side. We threw in an extra tarp over here so we don't get any overspray on the wheel and the rest of the car, and then that side should be fine. Took off the wheel there, and yeah, the marks that I marked earlier are actually pretty close. This one's a little bit off. Yeah, it's shifted.
First we're gonna cut this one out, install it, and then check this line, make a new mark, because right now we have 2 layers. Once you cut it out, then it'll move in this way, the thickness of this metal.
Yep. So yeah, let's go ahead, take this piece off real quick, and then get all the prep work done, and then get her welded on. Here's the welding setup we got. We got the same Miller welder, and we got a couple grinders. That's pretty much it. Alright guys, so we're finally ready to start welding. It took us 2 hours to do all the prep work, so let me show you what we've done. This is where we're at. So we took that etching primer, primered all of our spot welds, which
metal.
Yeah,
it's gonna be sandwiched where primer won't get there anymore.
Yeah, I just lost my words there, sorry. Okay, and then on that piece over here we did the same thing. So we did basically the back sides have been primered. The surface of that piece is all bare metal, and we'll use regular primer for that. And then we got our welding station set up, welders cooking already, ready to go. Backing plate right here because we have a little bit of a gap right here. Hopefully we can fill that in. These gaps look perfect. All right, let's start welding.
This whole seam in. Now we're just grinding it. That's what it should look like when we're grinding. Just just like that. After we're done grinding it, that's pretty good. And that's how it should be throughout. Any of those little holes like that will fill in.
That's where I welded. Looks pretty good for the most part. I just grinded it down to see how good of a job I did. Looks pretty good, honestly.
Yeah, it's fused in. So
this is like my second time welding.
And structurally, it's on there, dude.
Oh yeah.
It's just as rigid. Yeah.
And we're just reinforcing these spot welds here because the primer
we sprayed on
did not work, so we had to kind of
clean it off down to the bare metal.
Yeah, that's why it's already kind of dark outside, because we have to pretty much redo all the work we did after we primered it, which is kind of dumb. But I mean, it's always good to do it right than to not do it right, and
yeah, we don't know
what falls off on the road.
We don't know what happened with that self-etching primer.
Yeah, so these welds look really good here. Steven did a really good job here. Happy the way it turned out.
Yeah, once it grinds down.
Oh yeah. But yeah, this is turning out really well. All the gaps and seams.
We look at it like when you back up, like it's a lot better than that piece was.
Yeah. Shine that light again right there.
I'm not even trying yet.
Oh yeah, that looks really good. And then next step, Bondo.
Yeah, because this little bit here, that's okay. We'll Bondo it in.
And then
because mainly the cut that we're
send it to the paint. And we still need to fix that exhaust leak. So
what you mean, my boy?
Exhaust leak is good. All the sound coming from the front, no sound from the back. Alright everyone, so we're going to be wrapping up with this video. Pretty much all the work is done with the spot welds and grinding everything down. Really all now what we have to do is throw the door back on. I'm going to take off all these tarps and stuff here right behind me, just so we don't have to rely on that, and the door can actually keep it sealed tight so any water doesn't get in. We did schedule a date to get this car painted, so in the meantime I'll just go ahead and throw the door on. I won't throw any of the seals on just because he'll have to paint around the door jamb, you know. So I'll have the door on, and then we can throw the tire back on, get the jacks out, and just lower it and have it sitting here, and then we should be good to go. And then right before we end off the video, we can throw on a new muffler, and that should be it. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so as you can probably hear, we do have a bit of an exhaust leak down here. It's pretty loud and not really pleasant, so we're gonna have to get that fixed. My plan is to disconnect the whole exhaust pretty much from the headers all the way back to the muffler. Obviously we're gonna leave the muffler, we just need the front pipe and the mid pipe so we can break it down. It's right at where that seal is, so my hope is we can get some JB weld, make a nice gasket out of that, and let it sit there and cure for like maybe a day or two, and then put it back in. But without further ado, let's go ahead and show you the surprise we got. We're gonna put this muffler on. Hopefully it sounds a little bit better than the OEM one. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for a really good price. So this is a X-Force muffler. If I really wanted to, I could get a mid pipe just to replace the OEM one. Alright guys, so we jacked up the rear end of this car. Now we have to just take off 2 bolts, loosen the hangers, drop the muffler, and then slap in the new one. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so we do have the new muffler installed. Here's what it looks like. It's a little bit filthy right now just because it's been sitting for a while, but not producing a lot of noise at the moment because we have that exhaust leak. It's not really allowing it to get the full potential. So, I mean, it does sound a little bit more crispier and raspier than the OEM one from what I understand, but hopefully once we get that exhaust leak fixed, we can have some more sound production here in the back. But yeah. But guys, that's gonna be all for today's video. Next step is to get this thing prepped for painting. We're gonna send this thing off, get painted, hopefully I think March 7th. I already contacted the painter, and then we do need to fix that minor exhaust leak, but that'll be after the fact that we get this thing painted. If you did enjoy today's video, then please be sure to leave a like, consider subscribing, and we'll catch you guys the next time. Take care and goodbye.